Hey family, it's Netta back at you with another video from Black Lives Count. So I hope as you come in you can like the video, you can share it if you so feel obligated to do so, and also you can comment. We like to hear your comments. If you are not a subscriber, please become a subscriber, because we welcome you as family over here in this realm. We accept everybody as long as they are respectful, and we can have a discussion. It can be amicable, and let's discuss how it is and what it is. So family, oftentimes white people will tell you there is no white privilege in America and there is no white supremacy. Many of them sometimes are even Democrats. You have Democrat white liberals that will gaslight you into trying to make you believe that there's no racism in America. Oh yeah, well, that happens sometimes, but it was a bad cop, or it was a bad person. Oh, they followed you, or they wouldn't let you in the building. Oh, that was just a bad tenant. But they often try to negate that the fact that there is racism in America, and that America was built on racist beliefs. A lot of people understand that, racism gives them, in that community, the white community, media representation. So when, white women go missing, there's always a case, media attention to it, and law enforcement will get on trying to ensure that they can close the case and find the person that has done something to this white woman, or if she's missing, what happened to her, or whatever. Often cases of black women and children and men going missing in America is just stepped over, and there's never a lot of media attention put to that. Okay? So also in public spaces, white people go into a public space and they are treated with decent, with decency, and they're not followed around in stores and stuff, like in retail spaces. They're not treated like black people have experienced being treated in retail spaces. In Target, so to speak. We're going to use Target as an example. Many people were saying that when black people started boycotting Target, which I don't know why we were boycotting Target anyway, because we didn't benefit from DEI. But when black people started boycotting Target and not going into Target, that they were finding all kinds of Caucasians stealing in the stores. Well, see, they had been stealing, but because they followed black people around in the stores, they were unable to find, to see the white people that were stealing, because their focus was such on black people. Another thing is products and services. Products and services, in this country, in black communities, we're paying more taxes often. Our taxes are higher, we don't get the same services as the Caucasian communities get. I will notice in my community there are potholes that will go unfixed for months and months and months until we start really complaining about it. But it's not an automatic thing where they come in and they try to fix up our streets. Now, we pay more taxes, but we're not getting the services. They don't come in and try to do the right things by us. They have buildings. They'll close down restaurants and just leave the building, abandoned, boarded up, and won't try to, invest in other businesses and do things. See, it has been a long time coming that we have been noticing the differences, but have been gaslit to believe that it was not the truth. Having freedom, okay? A lot of black people, know that we are not truly free within America, because we can go somewhere and a white person can get in front of you and ask you what you're doing there, who you with, let me see your identification, like we living back, on the plantation or somewhere, what's your name, where do you belong, and all that bullshit. And they don't consider them doing anything wrong. I've seen white people in my community. In fact, I'm seeing more and more than I would like to see right now. But I've seen white people in my community, and we don't get in the way and say, hey, where you going? But see, black people, this is something that we must start. We must start gatekeeping our communities as well. And in fact, my neighbors and I did just that. We had a bunch of our children, well, my children are grown, but a bunch of children were out playing, and there was a white man came into the community who no one knew, and about 3 of my neighbors and we were standing out there watching, because he parked his vehicle awful close to the children, and we called law enforcement. We called the police. Hey, it's an unidentified white man over here. We don't know what he's doing. We need somebody to come over here because he's getting awful close to these children, and we don't want anything to happen. And the police did come out, and they came out. He was already gone, but they definitely came out, and we gave them all the information and everything on this man, his license plates number and everything. But what I'm saying is, now many of us are doing it, but we have to, hiring. A lot of times, we go in for a job, and maybe there's some white people also going in for the job, and a lot of times black people have to be 10 times more skilled and have more experience than their white counterparts. You know what I'm saying? I have seen, and I worked in corporate, I have seen where there were white kids coming out of college who had no experience versus a black man or woman that had that 5 years, maybe 10 years experience, and they were overlooked for the job, and the job, the position was given to white people. See, these are all things that demonstrate not only white supremacy, but also the hierarchy in America that supports the white population, okay? No matter what they tell you. Just like interactions with the police. Black people are afraid that if they're pulled over, they may not go home from after that incident with that police officer, because oftentimes we're seeing it happen where white people don't tell their children, be careful because the police pull you over. No, what happens, they tell their children, hey, they can't do that to you. You question them, and you go back and forth with them, and you have rights and this and that. But see, we don't have the ability, or not the ability, we don't have I'm going to say the ability to tell our children that, because we want our children to come home. And if we tell our children, oh no, you go toe to toe with the police officer, they may not make it home from that interaction. You know what I'm saying? So, as well as the legal and the medical system. Black people are 10 times more inept to go and be arrested and locked up for just driving down the street, walking down the street, minding their own business, not engaged in any kind of illegal activity, than their white counterpart. And that is because of the racial motivations that this country hold. You know what I'm saying? So black people can be pulled over, and right away they're guilty. You know, it's not innocent until proven guilty. For black people in the legal system, it's you're guilty. So you could be walking down the street and a suspect, and it could be a suspect that's not even black, had did something, and they can't find this person, so they're looking in the police presence, and so they'll go and pick this black person. It's happened too many times, family, where black men or women have been grabbed or snatched, you know, by law enforcement, and then come to find out the person is Caucasian. You know, I did a video about it a couple of months ago of a lady that was arrested and put in prison, put in jail, a grandmother, and then come to find out when she went to court, and she kept telling the officers that it wasn't her, and she kept telling the jail it wasn't her, and when she went to court, the judge said, a white judge said, hey, this is a white woman that we were looking for. Why was this woman arrested? She's a black woman. It has happened now. This woman is suing, but that does not take away from what happened to her. You know what I'm saying? So it's always an ongoing issue in America for black people, and it has always been. See, right now what happened to Renee Good has upset everybody, but until you've experienced what we've experienced in America, you haven't been through shit. As far as I'm concerned, they say they're going around saying, say her name, but no, the names that we ought to be saying, and until justice comes for these people, then they shouldn't come for Miss Good either. And I'm just going to say it the way I see it, okay? Keith Porter should get justice, who was killed by ICE on New Year's Eve, and he was and it was an unarmed ICE officer. You didn't hear anything about that. Breonna Taylor, Jonathan Farrell, Eric Gardner, Mike Brown, Laquan McDonald, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Samuel DuBose, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Terrence Crutcher, Stephon Clark, Botham Jean, and Artiana Jefferson, as well as Trayvon Martin. Those people, since nobody was, arrested in those situations and sent to prison, okay, over their murder, then I'm sorry, no one should be arrested for Miss Good's death either, because right is right and fair is fair. And one thing I'm going to tell you, white America, see, many of you are complacent with as long as it doesn't touch your community. As long as it doesn't touch your community, you're good with it. But once it touches your community, then you have a problem with it. But let me tell you, there was somebody who said one time that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And it may not be touching your community today, but you better know that tomorrow it may touch your community. So until you guys can stand up for the rights of all people, then black people will never stand up for your rights again. We have stood up for everybody else's rights, and we have been the ones who have suffered within the confines of America. We have been the one who have been tortured. We have been the ones who have been unalived. We have been the ones who have been arrested in record numbers. They say we are 13% of the population, but we are 80% of the population in the prison system. And that is all done by design. So, there will be no justice for Renee Good until there's justice for those names that I've already called, okay? And so you have to know, white America, the chickens are coming home to roost. Black power, peace, love, and blessings to you all. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.